Hey guys, it's Luke with Mixing Made Simple, and today I just wanted to show you really quick how you can use how to make sure you're using velocity, you're editing the velocity of your MIDI notes and the music that you're making in order to have the music sound dynamic and have some life to it, versus if you leave all the velocity the same, then you run into the issue of having kind of lifeless and non-dynamic music. And I'll go ahead and show you two examples here. So here's the first one, and I'll show you them soloed, and then I'll show you them in context. So I'm using a piano. It's kind of like a deep house track, and it's this piano and this, and here's the chord progression. You can see basically the first note's going to hit kind of hard. It's going to quiet down, and then it has room to grow. And this is kind of like a little phrase that's going to grow into the next chord. And go and just and take a listen, and you'll see what I mean. Whoops. There we go. You see how that has life to it? It almost sounds like someone's actually playing it, versus if you listen to this one with the velocities all exactly the same. It sounds like someone's just pounding on the keyboard. And maybe in some contexts, or sometimes maybe you want it to sound like this, and that's okay. It's a preference thing. But if you listen in the context, and it's kind of subtle, and here I have two pianos layered. I got a Korg M1 up here, but if you listen to in the whole mix, let's listen to both of them in the context, and then I'll show you a more extreme example of this in a little bit. So let's see. Okay, now let's listen in with that was the dynamic version. Let's listen to the non-dynamic. So it is subtle, but there is a little bit of a difference there. And maybe it doesn't make enough of a difference for you to care that much about doing this, but the little subtle differences all add up to create more of a big difference in the big picture. So if you listen here, I'll go ahead and solo this. Here's just an example. It's just I'm using Mary Had a Little Lamb, the melody, just to show you the difference it can make when adjusting the velocities versus just having all the same note. So here's the dynamic version. Now here's the non-dynamic, kind of lifeless, all of the velocity is exactly the same version. You hear that one? It's almost like someone's just pounding on the keyboard. It'd be like if a little kid's playing it or something. Whereas the other one has some dynamic, and it sounds like someone's actually playing it musically, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've seen master classes with big name producers who say that they don't even care about the velocity, and to me that's, I don't know, it's a little crazy, because the velocity and really taking the time to go through and make sure that there's dynamics and room to grow in your music, I think it can add up and make a big difference. So just keep that in mind. Once again, it's preference, but that's just something you can do going forward to ensure that you have more dynamic productions and mixes. So yeah. All right.